Yo, what's up guys? How's it going today? Can you guys hear me and everything? I haven't streamed since December 20th, so I just want to make sure that you guys can actually hear me fine. Everything is okay? Let's see how the volume is and how the clarity is. Hi guys, how's it going? Can you guys hear me? Alrighty, wicked. How are you guys all doing today? It has been a very long time since I've live streamed, so thank you very much for joining me. I feel a little bit nervous. I do have to admit, I feel a little bit nervous streaming right now. Happy Tuesday, everybody, and Happy New Year's for all the people that I've missed. And I hope you guys have had a fantastic time with the holidays. I've been taking it a little bit easy so far. Haven't really been trading too much. So let's get into this technical analysis, guys. All right, so I've increased my margin of account just a little bit, where I'm going to allow myself to play up to $60,000. But the recommendation that I want to give to everybody is that please never, ever play your entire margin balance. The reason why you should only play maybe half of your margin balance is so you don't get liquidated, right? And just a very short story of a friend of mine who told me about his friend. He actually ended up getting liquidated for about $100,000 on BitMEX because he was short on Bitcoin. And as we know, Bitcoin ended up spiking up from 5,700 to about 3,800, and sometimes on any exchange. That's more than enough for you guys to get liquidated. Hey Corey, how's it going? Yes, it was your friend. Corey is here to join us. Okay, so the person that I am talking about, I'm being very general about it, right? Is that you don't ever play your entire margin account or even close to it because you want to retain some sort of equity. And for the people that don't know what equity is, that refers to the basically the required equity to maintain your balance, which is usually about 15%, right? So if you do the calculations, you don't really want to be moving. If you play your entire margin account and it actually moves about 20%, we'll say, multiplied by a factor of 3.3, that's 66%. That's enough to get you liquidated to 1/3 of your entire account. So let's say you had a 30K account and the market moved like 15 to 20%. You're going to get liquidated if you don't keep to your stop loss, and you're going to drop that 30K account to an easy $10,000 account, and even less than that if there's not enough liquidity for you to fill it. So I'm not really playing with a lot whatsoever, and this is my position for the day. None whatsoever, because I focus on high probability plays. And if you guys focus on high probability plays and let the trades come to you, you'll have a much higher chance of having a success rate over time. Hey, thank you very much, Nathan Paul 88. I really appreciate that. That's going to go towards Luna's alcoholic fund. And yeah, Luna is my dog. She is an alcoholic. She's got a major problem, but you guys have stopped donating to her crypto fund, so she's been getting a lot better. But my girlfriend Sarah has been helping out Luna here and there with a few bottles here and there, and that's not really cool, but she's doing a lot better. Yeah, Eric. Hey, Eric Cho. How's it going, man? He's in no position as well, so that's how you know that some of the more experienced traders out there. Will you do another small account challenge? That's something I can definitely consider, Will, down the road. So let's get into this, guys. There has been a lot of, well, first of all, let's go into the monthly, okay? Let's look at this from the investor perspective as well to see where we're trending, okay? So the monthly 55 average, I can't really get a good gauge on it because on Bitfinex, as you can tell, it's only taking up about 17 bars. And right now, it's not really a good indication that it's bouncing off of the 55 EMA, right? So it's not really a good indication. But what we are finding for the month of December is that we did get a doji candle, or a hammer candle, you can call it. And this hammer candle right here, it could be indication of a slight support where we could be challenging some things. But guys, the way that the rest of the January is going right now, we just simply cannot break into higher highs. And if you look at the volume on Bitfinex alone, where we're actually 1/2 of the month in already, but we're only about let's see how much volume, okay? On Bitfinex right here, we ended up going through about 1,000 Bitcoin traded, right? And now we're at about 241. So we're only about maybe 1/4 the volume of the month, and we're halfway in, which implies that we're actually trading only at half of the volume compared to this December range for that bullish month, right? So in my opinion, I don't think that we're going to get a bullish bullish actually first half of December whatsoever. But believe it or not, guys, I'm still dollar cost averaging. And for the people that are unfamiliar with dollar cost averaging, that refers to buying specific amounts in specific intervals. So I'm buying anywhere between 0.5 Bitcoin to 1 Bitcoin every few weeks. This way I'm accumulating, right? You never know where a bounce is going to be. And as you're buying lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, right? Who cares, honestly, right? I understand that the difference between buying at 3,000 and 2,000 is significant, but you want to be able to catch it from an investor perspective if it does go up to something ridiculously high, right? And honestly, this year, I firmly believe that we are going to challenge the all-time high again. I don't think we're completely going to break past it, but I think that the third quarter, the fourth quarter of this year, we are going to get some sort of bullish momentum. Thank you, Daedalus. Hey, Daedalus, I know you from a Crystallis, a Demon Edge, and a Recipe. So yeah, so I don't do anything on Binance anymore whatsoever. Yeah, I only trade on Bitfinex because I'm very time restricted. So on the weekly chart right now, we're slowly getting volume declining as well, right? And you know, we got to get some new money into this. And I'm always talking about institutions. I'm always talking about malinvestments as well from the perspective of ICOs and scams and regulation. And I do firmly believe, just to reiterate again, that it will be the year where we will get regulation, which will prevent a lot of fraudulent activity. And eventually, with these regulations, it will encourage institutions to hop onto the bandwagon. And you got to think of the positives as well, right? Where it definitely brought in a lot of retail investors, like people like you and I, into the market from 2017's very bullish run. And I think that people are interested generally in Bitcoin because it's really cheap. And if it were to fall under $2,000, in my opinion, I'm going to be very interested. I'm going to convert a lot of my liquid assets into cash, and I'll be racking up on the Bitcoin and purchasing a lot more because I think that, you know, I'm down, guys, for literally, you know, it's a pretty big investment, right? If you're going from $2,000 to 20K again, you're doing like a 1,000% return. And I think that, you know, a $10,000 investment could turn to a $100,000 investment. A $100,000 investment could turn into something ridiculous like a $1 million investment. So I believe that we are still very bullish long term, just not quite yet whatsoever. So on a 2-day moving average, like we did get a doji candle, or sorry, 2-day chart, we did get a doji candle, but I don't believe that we are going to be getting into any type of bullish momentum anytime soon. I think that we're just making an ABC correction, to be quite honest, right? So I've seen a lot of professional technical analysts consider this an ABC wave, right? I think it's very difficult to debate the initial wave going upwards, right? The initial wave going upwards was something like that. That's the 5 impulse wave going upwards, right? And some people are actually calling this an ABC, right? They're calling this an ABC coming to the downside, where this could even be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Something like that, right? And this one actually is hitting some pretty decent targets as well, right? If we do a 1-to-1 extension, we see that, hey, it actually almost hit that range. And I have been talking for a while now about it hitting around the 3550 ranges and then challenging the 3800 range, which is exactly what we ended up doing. But this area right here, for the interim, like I'll call it for the interim, you know, swing low or whatever, you can say that this is kind of a congested area, right? A congested area where we're finding a lot of trouble breaking past it right now. Not only that, if we take the Fibonacci retracement of just this particular structure right here, right? Let's just say we ended up doing just this structure. Hey, we ended up hitting about the 382 level, which is pretty much a dead cat bounce in my opinion. But the way that I'm more so viewing this, in my opinion, guys, if I were to break it down on a very low time frame, like I could subdivide a lot of these waves actually, right? Even if I go to like a 1-hour chart, for example, okay? Right? Excuse me there. If I go to the 1-hour chart, I could break this down as well to an ABC that has already formed. Actually, I'm not really sure if I could break this down into an ABC, but just for argument's sake as well, right? If this were an ABC coming down over here, what we would consider this right here is a W, right? And that would be an X because that was a really choppy wave. And the question is, how do we break down this specific structure as well, right? And if this weren't a WXY, where we're just searching for another wave, let's just argument's sake, all right? Let's just say we hypothetically just ended up targeting the 0.786 level. Well, then I would just argue, in my opinion, a dead cat bounce would be something like that, right? To perhaps a 786 level where it could even confluently end up matching up with 786 right here as well, or even, who knows, somewhere around these ranges, right? So I don't think we're gonna get our, like, you know, it's going to be really scary if this ends up becoming a completely failed wave in general where we challenge these lows again, right? But guys, don't discount it for a moment because I still feel that this could possibly end up still happening. But let's just say we go to the main argument of how this could be an ABC coming down, right? Just something like that. A lot of people are saying that we still have one more wave to go down where we're going to end up hitting right at the 786 level. And in my opinion, that's very likely as well, okay? So let's talk about RSI now. Let's go to daily and let's talk about RSI. Constance Brown's RSI rule. You guys hear me talk about it a lot, right? What is a bullish zone? A bullish zone is basically not between 40 and 60. A very bearish zone would be kind of in this lower level, right? Under 40 to very low RSI. A bullish level would be anywhere above 60 to high RSI. Where are we right now, guys, on the daily? We're pretty much unbreakable right now. I always treat RSI as a resistance as well. And you guys can see very clearly that we cannot break above this high for RSI. Now, if we go to a 12-hour chart, sure, we broke to slightly higher highs, but it's until we actually, okay, let's just say, guys, let's just say this was the first wave of some impulse wave going upwards. And let's just say that this is hypothetically the bounce, right? We clearly bounced here above the golden ratio. Phenomenal. Now, if we just assume that this was the first wave going upwards, right? How do we play it? That's the big question, right? How do we play this to make it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 where we're actually searching upwards? Well, the first step, in my opinion, is to always assume the basic rule of that wave 1 is always is usually the shortest. Put it this way, okay? Not always the shortest, but wave 3 is often the longest and the shortest. So by my rule, I will target anywhere between, you know, at least a 1-to-1 extension, right? I'll target a 1-to-1 extension because wave 3 is often the longest. So we would be needing to break some ridiculously high RSIs, right? So the daily would need to crush this RSI of 60 and up. And then we'll finally break above the 60 RSI to maybe, who knows, 70, 75, and then bounce above the 60 RSI for us to reach a 1-to-1 extension. Now, the way that I would be playing this is very simple. It's just very much so trend line, right? I would be waiting for it to break into higher highs. I would gain more confidence as this ended up retracing to a higher range, right? So let's just say we go to a lower time frame. This really does need to retrace. So that's why I'm not taking any positions because I'm so cautious right now. When we're getting wicks like this, guys, and I'm sure a lot of professionals would agree, right? When we're getting wicks like this, over literally 12 hours, actually 18 hours, where we can't even get to the 382 level, it just makes me wonder how bullish we actually are, right? So there's a lot of tension right now between the bulls and the bears pulling, but it is until we get closer to this trend line, I can actually extend this pretty far, right? We can consider some of these regions a bull trapped regions, right? Where the bears are clearly trying to drive up the price to liquidate the longs there to add more strength to come down. And it's until we actually get into these specific... Hey, thank you very much, Ricardo. I really appreciate that generous donation there. It helps a lot in every way, you know, everything does. So unless we break above this 786 region and break above this trend line that has been established since, you know, if we were to break there, it would have been like a 2-month trend line resistance. Unless we break above 4,000, 39.50, 4,100, there's no way I'm adding to my long position. No way whatsoever. It just makes no sense, right? So in order for me to assume that this is actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going upwards, right? We need to break this trend line right here. And until we do so, who knows how it's going to end up being. But in my opinion, we'll probably end up making something like that like a triangle of some sort like this, right? Where it's going to squeeze and we're going to see tension from the bulls and the bears in some sort of symmetric triangle. But that would be quite bullish in my or not bullish, but it would give the bulls some hope where when we reach this apex, something happens. So I'm waiting for a more definitive pattern to play out where we have more clear established trend lines and resistances. Until then, no way I'm doing anything. But the worst case scenario is if we actually get a descending triangle. If we get a descending triangle, the last thing that I'm going to assume is that we're going to end up double bottoming, right? Crypto J, I'm waiting to short and go long, but not. What are you waiting for, Eric? What range are you waiting for? Are you waiting for one more wave up, man? Because I'm honestly waiting for a 786 bounce, because that seems to have been the flavor for a while. I would be fairly confident over here. But then let's go to a very detailed RSI analysis, okay? I mean, do we have any type of bounce yet? Let's go to even a lower time, 786. Okay, so Eric is in the same boat as me, where we're waiting for an entry here, okay? We're waiting for a long entry around here, right, Eric? That's what you're saying? Around 3450 to 3500 range, right? I mean, I'd be a lot more confident doing that as well. Because the way that I'm seeing this, right? If this were the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, this congested area, 1, 2, 3, you know, who knows what that is right there, 4 and 5. That seems to make a lot more sense in my opinion as well, right? Because obviously we're not just going to shatter through these regions that were heavily defended by the bulls, in my opinion. Look at the volume around these ranges. Like, they're massive, in my opinion, right? So I'm super excited to see how this is going to play out. But one thing I can confirm is that this right here is obviously not some sort of bearish flag consolidation, right? Definitely not. Who knows? This could still be making some sort of ABC, right? Or sorry, that's not the ABC. Like, who knows? That could still be making some sort of ABC, and we challenge even 4K ranges. But right now, Phil, with Ethereum hard fork tomorrow, do you think it is bullish at the moment? I don't think you know what? If Ethereum was bullish, we would be reaching much higher highs right now. But right now, Bitcoin is dictating the charts. It is absolutely controlling how even Ethereum is for the hard fork. And clearly Ethereum is reaching a massive resistance zone right there. So I honestly am not even too interested in Ethereum. The way that I'm playing this, honestly, is just based on scalping right now. Now that I've got a little bit more time to scalp and I can sort of swing as well, I'm more so just looking for, okay, this is my theory, right, guys? Like, you guys know how I trade. The way I trade is I don't catch breakouts. I never catch breakouts, if you guys have noticed, right? So you guys are always wondering, why the heck am I shorting so much? The reason why I'm shorting so much is because I never catch these breakouts. If it goes up, I'm like, crap, I missed the 5% spike upwards. So what I do instead is I wait for bearish divergence and I short it. That's simply the truth. And I also don't catch breakouts on the short down as well, because I simply just miss most of them since I'm like out or something like that. I'm out with my girl and then, you know, we see the market spike and I'm like, oh crap, we gotta go home. And then if it drops, I wait for a long opportunity, right? That's kind of my style. I'm waiting for oversold regions, right? Oversold as is dropping and then hitting a support with bullish divergence, and then I scalp along on 1 to 5% or something like that. On either a small time frame, if it meets my criteria of moving 5%, or if it's going up 5% as well, where it's hitting a resistance zone with bearish divergence, and then I enter a position based on that. But as it stands, just to keep this short and sweet, guys, I think that Bitcoin is, right now, I don't think we're going to break above here, put it that way. This entire range right here between 3875 and even 3800, that's a heavy, heavy resistance zone right now. And I believe that people are going to rack up their shorts for one more wave down to 3550 to possibly 3500 regions. Let's take a look at BTC USD long and short. Okay, let's take a look at long right here, okay? So longs right now, let's go to the higher time frame, like a 6 hour, okay? So on a high time frame right now, like, you know, we're kind of, I don't know, man, like we're kind of reaching not too high of a liquidation zone, but as you guys can see, every time for the longs, we reach 3,500 or sorry, 35,000 on Bitcoin, and bam, you know, we reached 40K, for example, in March, right? For the longs, bam, we dropped to 27K. We reached 37K, we dropped to 26K. We reached 36K, we dropped to 25K. We reached 35K, we dropped. That seems to be the trend between this 34,500 to 40K regions of long positions, right? You guys compare it to the long positions way back, okay? Let's just say we looked at it like in December or something, right? People were generally more interested. It just kept spiking up, right? Even for the bullish month of December 2017, we couldn't get past 33,000 longs until we have a generally majority of long positions open. That's when you're gonna know that the bull market has been entered, right? Shorts are definitely getting liquidated as well. There's no doubt about that. And for the shorts, just for example, it's the same range almost, okay? Almost the same range. You guys see right here for December 2018, people really did rack up the short positions. For example, if we were looking at this range over here only, 39,000, right? We knew that anywhere over 39,000, 40,000 shorts was a danger zone to be in a long position, right? Or sorry, in a short position. And as you can see, when we get to 43,000, look at this dip that we took. We took a 50% dip in the Bitcoin shorts, and the bulls end up using it as fuel for the fire, right? So I just have a really difficult time right now believing that we're bullish right now. We simply cannot break into higher highs. The histogram is getting kind of a neutral level right here as well. Or sorry, I shouldn't say that because I'm not even on the right exchange right now. Hey, darling, you almost ready? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're ticking up on the histogram, but we're not really getting that high, guys. Like, honestly, it's not high at all. The RSI, the 4 hour, it can't even break above 50s, 60s as well. You know, like, we're trending more so to a neutral level, waiting for a breakout, either up or down. That's the truth. There's a lot of confusion on the market right now, and I just cannot see any conviction either way. But if I had to guess away, I'm going to guess more so down than anything else, right? I mean, we can't even break above the 55 EMA, right, with a lot of conviction. In fact, we've been trending more so near the 21 EMA, in my opinion, right? And we can't even stay above the 21 EMA for a long period of time. That's the truth, right? We can't even stay above the 13 EMA right now. So unless we get some sort of crossover with conviction, right? Like, for example, this is the crossover we want, guys. Like, this is the crossover right here that we want. That's going to imply that we are now in a bullish zone. Bam! October 2015, you buy it at $300. You simply just ride it until it crosses over again, where the white moving average of the 200 ends up moving below. You buy it at 300, bam! You could have sold it at 8,000 just to guarantee, just as a simple example. Daniel King, hey man, long time listener, thank you. Quick question, the quantity on long and short charts, is that total dollars in positions or number of positions? All right, let me explain it to you. It refers to the amount of Bitcoin. So if I type in BTC USD longs, that's the long positions or the short positions specifically on Bitfinex only. And this right here on the right hand side refers to the amount of Bitcoin, not the dollar value. So this refers to 30,641 Bitcoins that are in a long position that we can see, all right? And this is referring to specifically leverage, I would believe, right? I'm not sure if it's referring to an exchange account as well, but I would assume it is only based on the margin, because for the shorts, it would obviously be only based on margin, right? Since you can only short on a margin account. I hope that answers your question there, Daniel, and I really appreciate your generous donation there of $20. Thank you very much, man. So yeah, guys, that's my general bias right now, and I'm honestly not going to enter a short position until we break this range. Let's see here. Like, I'm not going to enter a short position until we break this range. I want to break this low right here. This low is kind of a contentious low right now, in my opinion, right? Right around the 3,700 range, right? Give me volume that's selling off and we see a little bit of capitulation, and then I'll most likely end up shorting a coin like EOS or Ethereum, but not Bitcoin, because When Bitcoin moves down 3%, other coins tend to move anywhere between, for example, 5 to 6%. It could move twice as much, so there's a lot more money to be made as well, right? So if we break this range right here, right? You guys see this range that I'm highlighting as well, okay? See this whole region right here? If we break it with volume and conviction, I'm absolutely going to assume, okay guys? Oh, I'm like that's the interim, right? That's only from January 10th. But it also goes to show that it covers this wide region as well, right? And so if we break that, I'm just going to assume simply a 786 bounce, which is right around here, okay? And I'm more comfortable shorting it to these levels anywhere between, you know, these regions over here, 34, 50, 35, 50. I think that's going to be a really nice gain as well for shorting EOS, right? Right now the volume is low for EOS, so I'm most likely going to end up, thank you very much, Daniel. That's incredibly generous of you. I really appreciate that. That's a lot of vodka for Luna. Luna's going to love that quite a bit. So you guys see the volume on Ethereum, right? Ethereum right here is 32,000. I don't want to be trading a coin that's a $6-7 million volume, right? Because between my friends and I, where I'm gonna play 50K and my friends play $250,000 to, you know, $500,000, we're gonna end up dominating like literally $1 million to $2 million of the 24-hour volume, which is 25% of the volume for that specific coin. So it's not really cool that we'd be a market mover, right, or a market maker for that kind of coin, and we're not generally comfortable with that because we have like ethics in the market, right? You guys remember the days when I used to leverage and wall with my friends, right? For example, Ethereum Classic. That was not really cool what we did, but that's the nature of the game where we can slam these walls and break anything and control the market even against a negative correlation to Bitcoin, right? So Ethereum will be the one on my mind. Just give me a conviction with a break with volume below 3,700, right? Below 3,700, and I'll gladly short it to the 3,450 to the 3,550 region. So anyways, guys, I've got to take off for the day. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for the live stream. I just got to run some errands with the lady, and I hope to catch you guys another time. And I apologize for not being able to take any more questions and answers. And if you guys are still generally interested, right, definitely take a look at my Twitter for the course. I still maintain a 100% win rate this year so far, and every single trade has been caught on Twitter for you guys. So I'm doing okay, despite it being a slow month. I still plan to finish off the month anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000, which is a $250,000 salary a year just for trading in a bearish market. But my point is, if you guys are interested in learning how to trade my kind of style, take a look at it, guys. You know, my course is still on sale for the month of January. It's going to be $300 only for both courses, or $150 for each one. A lot of people have said that it's definitely worth the money for $150. So anyways, have yourselves a great day, and thank you very much for your time and for all your love and for all your support. Have a great day, everyone. Take care now. Bye.